As soon as that truck goes by, I'm going to record my intro. Go ahead and sing, bird. I like you. Microphone loose. Okay, take two. There we go. Nope. Headphone cable was getting caught and my elbow. There we go. This makes for interesting audio, doesn't it? Okay, here we go. This is Stories from the Trail. I'm all right. Hello, hikers. Green Giant here, one of your hosts. I'm pretty excited about this episode. This one's been some time in the making. If this is your first episode of Stories from the Trail, you'll probably be able to figure out what's going on, but just for fun, or just in case, maybe you want to go back and listen to episodes 4 and 5. That's when we meet our friend Daniel and get him geared up. Geared up for what? His first overnight backpacking trip. That's right, Daniel's never done this before, and he's been excited to try for a while, and I've been really looking forward to bringing him along. Really been looking forward to bringing you along, too. And that's what we're going to do this time. So sit back, get ready to come along on a trip with us. This is Stories from the Trail. So Megan moved. I started hosting a game show. Daniel's been apparently donating plasma to pay for gear because he's hooked. And it's been about a month. It's been like a month since Megan and I talked. It's been a month since Daniel. In fact, yeah, just a few days shy of 1 month since the last time you and I saw each other was in the parking lot at the Foothills Trail.
After a wonderful hike.
You still there,
right?
Daniel?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I'm here. I was just asking Deidre about,
Whether you can
meeting
go.
up. I love, this is my thing. I get a high off of meeting people and doing things. Such.
You guys would love trail days. Yeah, it's nothing
not
at all
going to
like the
Virginia.
kickoff either. It's a big, I think there were 15,000 people there year before
Yeah, see,
last.
and that's why I'm a little bit anxious about the whole trail days thing.
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love to go, but I
I
don't
do
know.
so much people stuff in my work time that doing people stuff in my off time is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, it's weird doing
Yeah,
that.
but people that like the things you like is totally different than random
It's true.
Joe Schmuckatelli.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
talking to random Joe Smokatelli all the day, all the time, all day.
Yeah.
Daniel. I figured it out. It's Dragon Con for hikers.
I was gonna say that, but
I'm sorry, I don't know. What
Yes, that's.
Dragon
I'm trying to say things that don't ostracize other people.
I know what Comic Con is, but I don't know what DragonCon is.
Dragon
Dragon
Con
is
is
it's the same thing in Atlanta.
It's trail days for nerds.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's a chance for, to gather with thousands of other like-minded people, wear funny clothes, and talk about things that only you and everyone else there understands. It's exactly it.
Pretty much.
So not bathing and eating food off the ground. Got it.
Yeah, they do that at Dragon
some
Con,
of
don't
them.
they?
Actually, people would dress up and they'd have signs like "Take a shower," and they'd be handing out deodorant and stuff. It's a lot of
I was
craziness.
referring to hikers, not these, not
Oh,
non
it's the same
people.
thing.
But maybe we have a lot more in common than originally assumed.
You probably do.
Yeah. Hey, you want
It's
to
fun.
talk about our trip that we just had? It seems like it was
Yeah.
so long ago. Yeah, so
it
we
was.
we talked about it for a long time. We finally got to do it on
We did.
St. Patrick's Day weekend. So just last month, March 17th.
That is a great time to be out in the woods and away from the bars.
Oh, away from what?
It's a great time to be in the woods instead of at the bars. St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Oh, yeah, okay, I get you now.
Yeah, I'm not into drunk people, so it's a really great time to avoid the bar scene.
Gary has all kinds of stories about Savannah during St. Patrick's Day, I'm sure.
Yeah, we lived in Savannah, which is one of the biggest St. Patty's Day celebrations in the country, and that was the first time in my life I've ever seen a porta potty actually overflowing.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Oh. Hey, how does it compare to Boston St. Patrick's Day Festival? Because, I mean, it's Boston.
Yeah, it's like imagine the same number of people, but crammed into a town 1/10 the size.
Oh, God, I don't want to.
Yeah, it's pure insanity. And we lived right downtown, too, so we just had to, step out our door, and there it was.
So is that like when you locked the door and then just closed all the curtains and just stayed inside for a while?
Yeah, see, that's back when I was into that sort of thing. So.
Oh, you were into that stuff at the time. Oh, so you were.
We were wearing the sequined hats.
Oh, like my family.
I had beads around my neck, and I'm like lifting my shirt up for beers and flashing people.
Okay, can I tell you a story? I did that at Dragon Con. I got a girl to show me her boobs. Because I lifted my shirt up, and she was like across the way at the other hotel, and she lifted her shirt up.
Oh my God.
I was like, yes! It was hilarious.
Congratulations.
Okay, sorry.
How did you feel about that?
Off topic. She thought it was hilarious.
Oh, okay.
I just think it's funny. Gary, about how old were you at this time when you guys lived in Nashville and it was your scene?
Or Savannah?
Yeah, or Savannah, sorry.
Probably about 10, 15 years ago, so I would have been in my 30s. Like low to mid 30s.
I'm such an old lady on the inside. Oh, God. Because I'm in my 20s and that sounds like torture.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't want to be anywhere near drunk people unless it's like me.
Drunk people are fine as long as you're drunk. If you're not drunk around drunk people, then it's bad juju. All right. On topic.
Yeah, that's right. Last time you guys were together was hiking Foothills Trail.
Yep. So I'm trying to figure out what audio do I want to share here with you guys. So I'm just going to give you an idea. Like I captured audio for like everything. So I'm going to take a lot of this after our talk and splice this in to kind of help tell the story. But like here, I'll give you an example. Can you hear this? There's nothing to hear yet. Hold on.
Pause for dramatic effect.
Can you hear those birds? Oh. Yeah, see, I even started recording in the car before we got there. That's how excited I was. So I recorded the drive in.
Oh my! What was the timer in the beginning?
Oh, that was when you put your keys in the car and it beeps.
Oh, you're okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Ignition. Yeah.
Your car sounds like a microwave. Looks like one too. Ha ha ha!
Does it still smell like a rat?
No, the dead rat smell is finally out of my car.
Woohoo!
Can I also explain my joke? It's a Honda Element. It does look like a microwave. Please. Thank you.
I got it. I understood.
Okay. Well, I know, but the viewers are not going to understand. They're just going to think I made a really horrible joke and laughed hysterically.
She might.
Hey guys, Green Giant here. So before you give me crap about driving and recording at the same time, I started this thing up while it was in the passenger seat and I was parked, so I don't need to look at it to operate it. It's just like having an invisible passenger in the car with me, so I'm not distracted at all. It's just like talking to someone. Hey, kind of like podcasting. All right. So I left Asheville probably about an hour ago, and I am now driving. Just went through the town of Brevard a little bit ago, and now I'm coming up on, I think, Cashers is next. I'm headed towards the Foothills Trail to meet Daniel. It's Saturday morning. It's a little early. St. Patrick's Day. I'm Green Giant. It's my favorite holiday because I get to wear green. I don't like anybody stopping me from wearing green the rest of the year. I don't know what I'm talking about here. All right, so the weather's actually kind of nice this morning. It's supposed to be, are you ready for this? It is the middle of March, and the high temperature where we are going is going to be 71 degrees today. Forecast is for 50% chance of rain, and I know what that means around here, but I'll describe it to you. I'm on kind of a little windy mountain road now, a little 2-lane, double yellow line blacktop through the hills, little houses beside the road, and what I'm getting is like it'll rain for 5 minutes, and then it'll be still cloudy but not raining for another 5 minutes. And that's just because 50% chance of rain around here means the mountains break up the storms, so you can have rain on one side of the ridge and nothing on the other. And I'm kind of going around these little tiny peaks and valleys here, so I'm getting a little bit of rain and drying up for a few minutes. Imagine that's kind of how it's going to be while we're hiking for most of the day. Eastern Continental Divide. I just drove over the Eastern Continental Divide. What the hell is that? I know I've done that before. It's not the first time I've driven on this road, and I've seen that sign a bunch. And I guess, it's not the high. I mean, I guess this is the highest. Not the highest point, but I guess I'm along the ridge that divides the eastern half of the continent. I don't know. I'm going downhill now, though. I wasn't before. So that means something. All right, so here's another interesting thing about driving on these windy mountain roads in southern Appalachia is that, speed limit's posted 25. You can really only see like 50 feet ahead before you have to make a little quick right turn, left turn. And, I've probably driven on this road 4 or 5 times, and there are clearly people on this road with me who drive this road every day and want to go 70 miles an hour. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. Not really any pull-offs either. So. Okay, I'll do that. Boy, this road is an awful lot like how the trail is. It's pretty small. There's an awful lot of right turns, left turn, right turn, left turn, going up and down, and there's a little body of water, and I got a little view for a second, and now I'm back down in the valley, and good God, that's the fucking mansion over there. Holy shit. They had to scrape off the top half of the mountain to build the damn thing. Alright, here we go. Thing in it, you're supposed to have envelopes nearby or something?
But I don't see anything like in this parking lot where the thing starts.
I wonder if you're in the right parking lot.
I am. It says Foothill Trail at Coney State Park.
Oh, okay. You're definitely in the right place.
Let's see.
Half mile. Turn left.
I guess it's probably $2 a day.
Yeah, the guy on the phone told me it was $5, but we'll see.
$5 a day?
I'm not sure. Hang on a second.
Okay.
I'm going to be there in a minute. Entrance at
All right.
Coney State Park, 500 feet ahead.
Yeah.
Turn left.
All right, Mr. Scott Fletcher, I'll turn left.
if you can get 2, and I'll just pay you when you get here. Just get 2 of those things.
Arriving at destination on right.
Get 2 of what things?
2 of the little things that you hang on your on your car.
On the rearview mirror? Yeah, I got you. Okay, all vehicles must display hang tag. Fee required. Oh, I see. You didn't I see. All right, I pay here, and then I'll catch up with you in a minute.
Yeah.
I got you. All right, stand by.
Bye.
Oh, okay, bye. I guess we're done here.
All right.
Good to see you, man.
Hi. How's your hair?
Well, my glasses are holding it in place.
Now, since everyone says meow, I figure I'd use the Gary Shandling catchphrase.
Oh, okay.
You ever watch Gary Shandling?
I know. I remember the show. I know who that is, but I haven't seen
He always
it.
said, "How's my hair?"
Oh, okay.
Because he had it all poofed up and stuff.
Yeah, so we're here, man. We're in the right place. We got a couple of things we need to do before we go. I got to put my shoes on. I got, some things I got to put in the pack.
I just wore this because it was, that day. I want to get pinched.
What do you mean? Oh, your headphones?
No, it's St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, green. You've got a green shirt on.
I wasn't going to wear this.
There's enough green in here that this counts, right?
Wow, you are a Green Giant.
All right, so we're going to do a little bit of packing here. I got some groceries on the way. And then...
you didn't go through Walhalla, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's in the
It's
opposite
pretty nice.
direction.
Pretty cute.
All right, let's get some gear
That's all I
straightened out
remember
here,
about
and then
Scions.
we'll get going.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I could be wrong because Scions are not my thing.
So for this
Call in
trip,
if we're wrong.
we started. Danielle and I actually started at Oconee State Park, which is the western end of the Foothills Trail. Remember we talked about the Foothills Trail before?
Can you tell people where the Foothills Trail is located?
Yep, it's we talked about it at length in our very first episode ever, our worst episode.
Well, I'm
ever.
assuming some people don't really want to listen to all of our episodes. They're just gonna tune in now because maybe they're, I don't know.
Yeah,
They're
I was just mentioning that
things
for
out. Welcome to the
flashback
party.
purposes.
You're late.
So if anybody did listen, they might go, "Oh yeah, that was way back in episode 1. That was like 9 episodes ago." Foothills Trail, 76 miles. It is mostly on the border of South Carolina and North Carolina. So if you look at a map, it's pretty much due south of the Blue Ridge Parkway by quite a ways, because it's the foothills of the mountain range that actually becomes the Blue Ridge. We didn't do the whole thing. 76 miles is way too long to take somebody on their first overnight trip ever. But we started in Oconee State Park, which is the western end. And Katie wanted to be involved, and Travis and Mark and Chris. And it's weird because it started. It was just going to be me and Daniel. And then we were like, oh, well, let's bring Katie. She's fun to hang out with. And then, my friend Travis called and he was like, hey, man, I want to come too. And then a few weeks later, I was talking to my friend Chris, who just started the AT a couple of days ago. He was on our last episode. So it started turning this thing. We're like, geez, we what was it? 7 people? 1, 2, 3, 6 people. And that's kind of overwhelming. That's a lot of humans. So we split the group into
that becomes that's a pack.
Yeah.
It's a full pack of humans.
It's a bubble for the Foothills.
That's a bubble.
Yeah.
In non-Appalachian Trail terms, or when you're not on the trail, I mean, for a small trail, that's a bubble.
So what we decided to do was Daniel and I started on the west, and then 17 miles into the trail, there's a bunch of convenient stopping points along the way. And we picked Burrell's Ford Campground area as to the east, and that's where they started. And they hiked toward us. We hiked towards them. The idea being that, we would meet somewhere in the middle and then hand each other the keys to our cars. And then when we get to the end, whoever gets to the end first drives back to the other people. So that's how we arranged shuttle. Plus, we all got to see the same stuff.
That's actually a really great plan when you have a group of people.
Yeah, and it worked out really well, too. It was a lot of fun. And we actually wound up Daniel, how far away from us were they?
Maybe 500 feet.
And we didn't even know they were there until the following morning. Like we were trying not to go too far. We didn't want to see them until the second day, but we also didn't want to accidentally camp together. So we just kind of picked a point that was like, I guess this feels like we're about halfway. And then the following morning, like we didn't even have our tents broken down, and they showed up.
I know you don't have the balls to put this on the show, but I have to put on earplugs, eat a banana.
Thank God for editing, right?
Seriously.
Well, I don't mind. I'd love to listen to a whole show.
He's gonna leave that shit in. He's gonna leave so much shit in of me just blah 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 blah.
And that's gonna be the break right there.
That's gonna be the intro. Me going blah blah blah.
Gary Meir story.
Gary's always recording me. Blah. Oh.
You know, you guys are just giving me more. Primarily, you're going to want the hip belt here is going to bear most of the weight of the pack. Okay. So this thing you want to be tight right where your belt is on your pants. Okay. So before you put it on, I always make it as loose as make everything as loose as possible. Yeah. All right. So now these obviously are going to go over your shoulder. Yeah. And you can see they adjust in two places. Down here at the bottom. Uh-huh. Okay. And they also adjust up here at the top. So these top straps are called your load lifters. I'm going to show you what that does after I put the pack on. Okay. So I just make these as open as possible. Make this as loose as possible, and then you're going to have one more that goes across your chest. Okay. All right, so first put the pack on. Actually, that's not bad. That doesn't feel bad at all. So the very first one that I'm going to do is the hip belt. And I start by, I'm leaning forward, not quite in a full L position, but kind of 45-degree angle. And I like to bounce a little bit. I'll throw the pack up, click the belt, and then, see, I'm still bent over. Now I'm tightening this around my waist until it's tight, tight, tight. All right, and then when I stand up straight, there you go. See how the pack? Yeah. The pack's kind of like leaning away from my body now. So I'm going to recover it by pulling in the bottom parts of the shoulder straps. So see how that pulls it? Just want that to be comfortable. Right here, I don't want it to pinch my chest muscles or anything. Okay, so maybe a little bit looser would be nice. And then the chest strap, really the only thing the chest strap is doing is, keeping the pack from falling this way away from my body. All right, so that actually feels really good. That's nice and balanced. It's not leaning too far to the left or the right. Okay. If it was, I could just, pick one of the chest straps to adjust. Now, these top ones, the load lifters, what these are for is so right now I've got them in the position they need to be for just flat walking or slightly downhill. When we start to go up some hills, right, your body is going to tend to lean this way. Right. You see how the pack is now on my shoulders, and it's pushing me down as well. Okay. So to prevent that, I'm going to straighten my pack up by loosening the load lifters. So see how I did that?
So it counterbalances you going.
So see now, even though my body is leaning forward, the pack is still vertical with respect to the earth. Okay. So that what that's doing is it's forcing the center of gravity onto my hips and down through my legs. So as we're climbing up the hill, my shoulders aren't bearing any of the weight that I'm carrying. And then once we get to the top of the hill, things level out. Just reach up and grab these, give a quick pull. See how it brought that right back up? Yeah. And now you're ready to stand up straight again.
Cool.
So as long as you remember that, while you're going up and down hills, it'll make your life a lot easier.
Sweet.
Now, for me, when I take off my pack, I do it in kind of the opposite order. I'll lean forward again, undo these things in my armpits, take off the chest strap, and then hip belt last. There you go.
Cool.
It's fine.
Cutting in and out, and occasionally I can get words here and there, but Daniel, can you say something?
Something. The first day,
okay.
The first day when we started the trail, we were walking, and we come across a sign that says hidden waterfall. I'm like, hell yeah, waterfall. He's like, well, that's going to put 2 miles on our thing. I was like, look, I'm about seeing the waterfall, seeing the sights. I mean, a couple episodes ago, when you interviewed that guy at the AT kickoff, and he talks about all the things the thru hikers go to because all they're thinking about is miles. I'm thinking, I want to see everything. I could care less. This is vacation. This isn't man on a mission, biathlon, triathlon crap. I want to see stuff. I want to do stuff. I want to experience stuff. That's why I like being outside, because I like to do and be and experience. So yeah, we went to a hidden waterfall the first day, and then the second day we went to another waterfall, and the second day was gorgeous.
Getting out my guidebook here.
And the waterfall you said the waterfall on the first day was a full 2 miles. I mean, 2 miles each way?
No, 1 mile in, 1 mile out.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's definitely not a trip I would have taken when I was hiking the AT, but I completely agree with you now. Like, why not? It's only an extra 2 miles onto your whole day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's vacation, You want to have fun on your vacation. It's not about. I mean, I know y'all say miles, not smiles. I'm like,
yeah, but that's
joking
that's a
when we say that
statement.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like it's an American thing. Like that guy. I don't know if you listened to the episode two episodes before with the guy from the AT kickoff, but he talks about how older people. Yeah, packs a lot. He talks about how older people and like people from other countries, do a lot better because they enjoy themselves. But like us as Americans, we're all about go do 20 miles. Let's do it. Head down. Let's get it done. I'm like, screw that crap. I want to see shit.
There are so many different styles of hiking.
Yeah.
And some of them are, they work well with hiking the trail and hiking long distance, and some of them don't.
Yeah.
So I think we were about like a mile or so in before we got to the side trail for Hidden Falls. And it's actually called Hidden Falls. That's the name of it. And
it's not like they were just telling you, hey, there's a waterfall, and by the way, you have to look for it.
After we got to it, they changed it to Found Falls.
So,
what? Yes.
That was a good one.
You hear that, Gary?
I did.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
You
nice.
just made my day.
Nice. No, but the sign doesn't say how far the falls is. Like you got to get like a quarter mile onto the side trail before it says, like it's another 1 mile. So it was actually 1.2 each way.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you up front when you start the side trail how long it's going to be.
No, you just get an arrow. It just says Hidden Falls that way. And then like 10 minutes later,
miles.
You see like, oh, it's a mile. And that's when you're kind of like, well, if I turn around now, I've already gone a half a mile and not seen the falls, so I might as well, But
so right now, that would be
really pretty.
Like I would totally still go to that falls. But when I was hiking the AT, if I had walked 0.2 miles and then found out it was another extra mile to the falls, I would have been so pissed.
Yep.
Why?
I would have turned around and gone back. I would have been like, this is bullshit. It's trying to add time on, or it's adding mileage. I mean,
but
it
why?
It depends on the day you got me on, honestly. But
why?
Okay, here's my question. If y'all would have started earlier, would y'all have been so pressed for time? I feel like because y'all started so late is because, that's why y'all...
No, that's just my personality. It's just me. If I had started early, I would have been pushing myself the same amount because I liked... And I say so pissed. I don't really mean so pissed. I would have... Oh, sorry about the wine glass. I would have been irritated by it slightly, I would have gone past it and then maybe regretted later on not going down it. But it wouldn't have been like a big deal or anything. It's just my personality type is I like the goals and having like, I'm going to get to this point by the end of the day, or I'm going to get to this point. And that's what kept me going. But for some people, having a goal like that would like destroy their confidence. And it would be like, well, I'm not enjoying this at all. But that was fun for me.
Well, my goal would be like, okay, within this mile and this mile, what's in between? I want to hit everything in between. And that would be my goal.
See, right now, that's how I do my day hikes. That's how I do my long camping trips or anything that I do on the weekends, because now I don't have like an end game in mind. It's all about, I mean, of course, I don't want to say that I didn't experience the trail when I hiked the Appalachian Trail. Of course, I experienced things along the way and enjoyed every spot that I stopped in. But now it's like, I don't care how long it takes me. I'm not going for, I'm not trying to get, 20 miles into today. I'm just going to go hike for however long I feel like it. And I'm going to hit every single waterfall along the way because I've got all the time in the world. Yeah. And I get to make all these decisions. So yeah, now I take every single side trail that I can.
Yeah. Daniel's a big fan of waterfalls in general too. So,
what's that?
Daniel's a big fan of waterfalls in general. So,
I don't definitely. They're great.
I don't know. It's a thing.
What did you think of that one, Hidden Falls?
That was good. It wasn't as good as the other one, but it was cool. I liked it.
Would you get partially naked in it?
Oh, I always wanted to take a shower in a waterfall. That's like a bucket list thing for me. Like those commercials.
But you haven't done it yet?
No. What? Get naked and take a shower?
Yes, you need to. This is
Gary. Why didn't you tell me? Hiker's baptism. Is that the hiker's baptism?
Gary, why didn't you tell him to strip off all his clothes and jump into the waterfall?
Because
what's wrong with you?
Because I've seen Daniel naked and I don't want to see it again.
Oh goodness!
I've never seen Daniel naked, and I'm okay with keeping it.
Yeah, I'm pretty in that point in time. I tan well, but
whatever.
I'd like to do that.
Yeah, that's one of the ways I used to. Gary, you remember this?
Oh, absolutely. As soon as you said those words, I was like, "Oh, you used to say that that was your grading system for."
That's how I graded water sources. Was I don't know. I'd get partially naked in that, or definitely not. I would not get partially naked in that. Meaning, I would not drink from that either. If I wouldn't get partially naked in it, I'm not going to drink from it.
Now, to be clear, you never actually did jump into any of the water sources, naked or otherwise.
I got into one water source that it wasn't like someone was drinking out of it, but maybe down the line someone would have, pulled water from it to drink from. So I did. There was one time it was in Virginia, and it was June 21st, 2000 what year did we hike? 14. I think it was June 21st because it was the summer solstice, which was naked hiking day. And I did get fully naked inside some sort of pond water thing.
All right.
So you're not supposed to leave no trace. You're not supposed to get in those. So I did a bad thing. I only did it once.
Bears
and I
get
did
it. Are you dirtier than a bear? I don't think it's that big a deal.
Dirtier than a bear? Did you meet me on the trail? I mean,
I'm just saying, like animals get into the river. I mean, that's ducks.
True. That's true. I try to abide by leaving a trace everywhere, which means not putting my gross, disgusting body into any water source. But I did do it that one time.
But it's nature. I mean, and you're all natural.
Well, if anybody wants to criticize me for getting naked in a water source, feel free to leave us a email or a voicemail and criticize us for that. But
okay,
we do our best.
Speaking of water sources, Gary showed me a thing that I had no idea existed. It was some kind of a sign, and it had water source this way, and it had like a pipe or something. And I guess when the water is not as high as it was, that's where you can get your water. Do you remember that, Gary?
I do. In fact, since you mentioned that, here, listen to this. All right, check this out. See what I have behind me here?
Blue reflector on a piece of wood.
Blue reflector on a piece of wood on the Foothills Trail means... You guys hear that?
Water. Okay.
Now we're by this creek, so we've kind
Yeah.
of had water all the time. So what's so special about this piece of wood with the blue reflector on it? So, see the trail that leads off here to the left?
Yeah.
Let's go down there and see.
All right.
You lead the way. I'll walk behind you. You see it?
The thing with the numbers,
Yeah.
the letters.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that?
It's a cistern.
Okay.
So go ahead and lift up on the handle. And if they've built this correctly, there you go. That should be full of clean, well, you still want to filter it, but that's, it catches the runoff and groundwater. See where it's like kind of too shallow here to actually like scoop? So you can just, they dug a hole there and put this huge corrugated pipe down there so it catches the water and just fills up, so you can just like dip your water bottle in there. Of course, I would just go with that little spillway to the, that's in the creek right now. But, I guess like in periods of drought when the water's not flowing very hard at all, this thing will...
They have those on the Foothills Trail?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Could have
They had
used
nice
those in
bridges.
Virginia.
And then the first thing he talked to me about is the loblolly pine tree. And then he quizzes me later on and says, "Hey, Daniel, what kind of tree is this?" And I say, "A pine tree."
You can't go hiking with Gary without learning something about your
I know. And then he was
surroundings.
talking about woodpeckers, and I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, all right.
Were they pileated?
Maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, they were. It was going way off in the distance. Yep. That's funny.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, we
Nature.
actually had a lot of... go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, we met up with our other group. Evidently, they were on the awesome part the first day, and Gary's friend Travis caught, 6 or 7 rainbow trout.
Yeah.
And they ate rainbow trout, on the fire. I was like, oh, my God.
Oh,
It was
nice.
epic. It was epic.
Rainbow trout, too. Oh.
I know.
Yeah,
Sounds
and
great.
apparently,
stuck with
he
Gary.
caught... I think he caught something on his first cast. First cast of the day.
No way.
Yep, that's just
Yeah.
Now, how did he pack the fishing pole? Is there like a packable fishing pole that exists
Mhm.
in the world? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Huh?
little collapsible thing. It's
Oh.
like less than a foot long when it's all smushed down. Like when you collapse your trekking poles, same
Yeah.
way.
I mean, I can't collapse mine because they're too bad. I understand the concept.
Let me see. What else did we
So that was-
do here?
That was
Daniel?
pretty cool.
All right, we're here. We're at. Here, say something. Let me test.
The falls.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're good. We've got plenty of volume here. Yeah, so we're at Hidden Falls. Pretty cool, huh?
I think they need to change the name.
I don't know. I mean, they're pretty well hidden.
Yeah, but we found them. So
I don't think we would have found these with.
reputation.
He's
Without
been
the sign, I
holding
don't
on to
think
that
we
joke
would've
this
found
whole
these.
time.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is a perfect place to get water. All right, so you've got a Sawyer filter there, and you've never used one of these before, right? You know what you're doing?
Nope.
Okay.
Not really.
All right, it's pretty.
One side goes in to the
Yeah.
bag.
Yep.
Okay, so where do we get the water?
So let's take a look at our different options here.
Okay.
So obviously you don't want to scoop it out of that flat spot because there's a lot of mud and stuff in there.
Okay.
You want to try to catch one of those trickles. So what I would do is see these two over here to the left, like just kind of put your platypus bag under one of those
Okay.
and just fill that up. And then, all right, so Daniel's walking on, he's balancing on a tree that's laid across the stream.
That was balancing.
Yeah, actually he only had to take like not even 5 steps. So it's not like we're going super far or anything. Oh, I'm going in to the drink here. All right, so he's leaning over here and he's got this platypus bag and he's filling it up with water. How can I make this more exciting? Let's push him in.
Where'd you get all this information? I got it from a book.
I learned it from a book.
Oh God.
That does make me want to pee.
Yeah, so everything is just pure silliness with Daniel out there.
Did you push him in? Did you actually push him in? Though?
No,
I
I
didn't hear a
didn't.
splash, but
No.
the audio got weird for a second, so I couldn't tell.
No, it was just the waterfall. That reminds me, there's a guy at my work exactly like Manuel. Oh my God.
Like who?
Guy from a TV show.
Oh yeah. I'm not picking up.
I'm trying not to leave you out of the loop. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's kind of funny
So,
every single
It's
time
going to be easiest
something
if you hold
completely
the
goes
bottle
over
on the
my
ground in between your feet. Yeah, so we caught a little bit of filtering water, but yeah, that was the first time, Daniel. That was your first time actually like drinking water from the earth itself, right?
Yeah, you want to know what's funny?
Really?
I accidentally took Katie's water filter, and I have it in my truck, and I've thought about taking it on my route because there's a bunch of streams around my route, and just getting water from there for
Give
no
it a
reason
try.
at all. For
Hey.
no reason at all.
Because it tastes better than tap water, which has been processed with chlorine. And
Yeah, I mean we
whatever
have
else.
a water softener and everything, and I drink soda water like it's water. But I don't know, for some reason, ever since that time, I've wanted to do that.
Welcome to the dark side, or the
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking of like taking it to Home Depot and messing around with the fittings and trying to figure out how to put it in like a better bottle than
That's a great idea.
a platypus bladder or whatever it comes with it.
If you can jerry rig something, that's a great idea because there is nothing better than fresh filtered.
Gary, why don't you play you trying to get the Sawyer filter on the platypus bag that first day?
Oh,
you want to know something he won't play?
No,
that.
Yeah, let me see if I can
He'll
find that.
play that because like the closest to mad I've ever seen Gary get is when he was trying to put that shit back on. It was hilarious.
Out of
He's
his mouth
like,
and nose.
"Fucker."
Stop. That means you're cross-threaded.
Let's laugh at
here we
Gary's
go.
expense.
Yeah, let's
Great
do
bottle.
that. And then just squeeze it
do
like
that.
a tube of toothpaste. Oh, yeah, see how it's coming out the sides there?
I see that.
Yeah, so stop. That means you're cross-threaded. You gotta... Katie's the only person I know who can get that thing on there without it leaking. Oh, shit. Only when anybody but Katie does it. Yeah, I know. It's the same problem I always have, too.
This is like our
Yeah,
10th
do a
try.
test flip first, see if any comes out. That was still coming out the sides. All right, hang on.
Oh shit.
All right, so after about 10 tries, we got this thing screwed on. I'm telling you, Katie's the only person who can do it.
Yeah.
All right, so now pop that lid off, and then just point that end into your water bottle, and squeeze. And what comes out is just instantly drinkable. There you go.
Yeah, that was just an exercise in frustration. I had to pause the recording in the middle there because I was starting to.
Oh,
Did you?
he was getting
Swear.
pissed.
Well, those bottles aren't very easy to.
Okay, you want to know what the trick was? Don't tighten it all the way.
Yeah, if
That
you
was the
over
trick.
tighten it, the water can leak through.
Yeah, well, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Well,
And that's exactly what
You're
I was
welcome.
doing too.
But we figured it out the next day.
I like to give people this advice after the fact once they've already struggled and learned it themselves.
Well, there you go. That's a helpful fact for our listeners. Don't tighten
You're
the shit.
welcome. Stating the obvious.
What was funny is we ran into this group.
What's in the background, Gary?
So I thought.
And we were just sitting there and taking a break.
Now, okay, so I know I have the audio of when Katie and the rest of the gang ran into us at camp the following
Oh
morning.
yeah.
We showed her the problems we were having with the platypus, and she goes, "What? I don't get it." Here you go, first try.
No, it started leaking, and then she was like, "Hold on," and then she didn't do it enough. I think she
really?
tightened it a little too tight, but she got it the second time.
Yeah. But she still, like, she showed us what to do.
It's because she's a genius.
Oh.
You might have hiked the whole Appalachian Trail, Gary, but Katie might be a little smart.
Now, Megan, you've hiked with Gary a lot more than I have. Does he ever stop, like really stop?
What do you mean by like really stop? Like take a break?
Like not do anything?
Do nothing?
Like literally just sit there?
Yeah.
He never did that. Every time we stopped, he'd be searching for something. He'd be opening his bag. He'd be fucking with shit. Like, and then we get to the campsite. Like, he wants me to bring a Frisbee so we could play at the campsite. This fucker is walking around the whole goddamn time. Does not stop.
I think it's probably because the baseline, the baseline for hiking is relatively high. Like, the number of miles and the amount of exertion is relatively high. So he just adds on extra activities. Gary, what do you think?
Well, it's also a lot of like, okay, a lot of the reason why I didn't sit still when we were camping, and I'm not complaining at all, but like I had to do a lot of stuff for Daniel. You know, like we would get to the campsite and be like, okay, what do we do now? Oh, we're gonna set up our tents.
He's like, well,
and then Daniel will be like, oh, which one of these is the tent? I have to like go and show him. Okay, this is the bag with the tent in it, and I'd give it to him. Then, oh well, how do I set up?
Look,
the
I
tent?
could have figured a lot of that shit out by myself, but I didn't want to.
It's okay, Daniel. I know what it's like to be in the position where Gary's helping you do things, and you know what? It's not. I try not to take it as like a condescending way, but eventually, like when we were hiking, I would. Gary, sorry, plug your ears. I would be using him to help me with things. Like, do you know how many times they actually threw a bear bag?
How
like
many?
very, very little. I would just be tagging onto other people's bear bags. And Gary's an expert in that. And so, yeah. So I would just, okay, well, compared to myself, who was too lazy and didn't want to do anything, I loved playing I think I need some help with a bear bag. You want to just, well, since you've already got yours up there, like, let me just jump onto that. So yeah. I think of Gary helping out as being helpful and, you know, making it so that I don't have to do as much work.
Okay. And the real thing too is like, I actually love helping and I love teaching and, you know, like
the teaching stuff.
Like just a minute ago, like I pretended I was picking on Daniel for not knowing how to do anything. But the truth is, you know, like I really enjoy, you know, like showing someone how to do something that they've never done before. And, you know, like I enjoyed showing Daniel like how to get water and how to filter things and how to dig a hole to poop in and how to, you know, it was cool. That was a lot of the fun for me.
But you're so good at teaching. But I enjoy like I enjoy taking advantage of that and just pretending like I haven't learned anything from you about how to throw a bear bag and allowing you to help me continue throwing a bear bag.
Let's hear some clips of Daniel learning.
All right, and then put the other one.
What are we doing here?
In the other corner, I usually step on the tent to keep it from, or the ground cloth to keep it from sliding away.
Putting up the tent.
Oh yeah.
All right, and now you can see it's already starting to take a basic shape.
Right.
So the reason I like to do this before I stake it down is because now I can move it if I need to. You know, like I can kind of look around and go, like, okay, that's a little too rocky. Let's clean that out, right?
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. You won't feel that. It'll be all.
Oh yeah, what I was doing was only staking one corner of the tent before I put the poles in, so that I could pick it up and move it a little if it was. Yeah, that's.
I like that you're explaining each little thing that you're doing because the details do matter.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a process, definitely.
Now,
well, when you do it for so long, you become an expert at it.
We're still not going to stake it down.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because if you stake it down now, see how the tent poles have a specific kind of bend to them?
Yeah.
We're going to hang the tent off of this, and the tent material is going to stretch the poles to their ideal shape.
Okay.
But if we have the corners staked down before we do that, that's how people get like wrinkles or like not a tight pitch.
Oh, okay.
That makes any sense? It'll probably make more sense once we get everything in.
Yeah.
So that's the rain fly.
This is more kind of a visual thing. Like maybe we should do this for YouTube later. like setting up a tent.
What kind of tent
That would
was
be
that?
cool.
That was so Daniel was staying in a Big Agnes Copper Spur UL2, which is a 2-person tent.
Yeah, that's that $400 kind of tent.
I think it was like $350.
Big Agnes are quite pricey.
Whew.
Gary, listening to that clip though, I have to say you are such a good instructor when it comes to that, because I think I might like just kind of throw things and go like, this is the first step, this is the second one, this is the third one. But you're explaining why you do each little particular thing.
Well, thanks.
You should do this shit. That's what I'm saying.
Here, let's hear another one. This is one of my favorites. You know, you'll recognize this one, Megan. This is about 2 minutes.
For my next trick, I want to show you
It's a little quiet.
this cool thing that my air mattress does. So we have.
Oh my God, the Schnozzel bag!
See, she knows.
Yeah, that was pretty
A
cool.
waterproof stuff sack and a pack liner. So like, see, it's big enough that like you can just put this inside your backpack, and like that'll keep everything dry if it rains. All right. So my air mattress is the REI Flash, and unlike yours, mine has 2 valves. It's got one at the foot to release the air, and it's got one up at the top to put the air in, and I can huff and puff in it like you just did.
Yeah.
Or I can take the end of my waterproof stuff sack. This is the X-Ped Schnozzel bag. This little piece is called the Schnozzel. And it fits perfectly.
Oh, I love it.
in
It's fun to say,
mattress.
too.
And then all I
Schnozzel.
Oh my God, I love the Schnozzel
do
bag.
is this, and then pump it up,
Miss that thing.
so I don't have to waste my breath. Usually
Listen to
takes
that
about
Schnozzel
3.
doing its job. Oh man, I love that thing. Yeah.
The schnoz is working.
All right. So, here's a good one. All right. Oh, Daniel, this will bring back some memories. Hang on.
Okay.
I got some. Oh, so I also I made a lot of recordings where it was just Daniel and me walking. Like we were just, like hanging out on the trail, and I would just turn on the microphone and just kind of like hold it.
I remember. I
I've
remember
got,
what
like,
we were talking about. Or
multiple
what I was talking about.
clips that I need to go through that are just like 20 minutes of, just the dumb shit that you talk about on the trail. People say,
Oh,
Yeah, when Gary didn't walk away from me. Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna talk
I
about
thought you
that
meant
too.
they went to prom
No.
this year, or I was gonna say, aren't they like 45
So here's my question. Did you ever go to the Marine Corps Ball or whatever?
every year?
If you could take a celebrity to the Marine Corps Ball, who would it be?
You.
Oh, God. I said celebrity.
Oh, I don't know.
You know how they were doing that for a while? I don't know
Yeah,
if they-
people were like getting on Twitter and like
Yeah.
asking, like, hey,
I think Mila Kunis did it.
yeah, that's who I was thinking of. I was struggling with the name. I was thinking of, like somebody asked Jennifer Lawrence.
Maybe. I think she might have done it too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know. I guess if I were gonna invite a celebrity,
Like in your time, like it's,
oh, I see. Okay, so it's back in the '80s.
yeah.
I'm 16 and I want to invite someone to prom.
Well, no. I'm not prom, but like the Marine Corps, like in that time,
Oh, Marine Corps Ball.
like 90s, I guess.
All right, so it's the '90s. And I have to pick a '90s celebrity to invite
I
us.
mean, yeah.
My
I
date.
mean, I'm guessing you'd pick one of them as opposed to someone now. I mean, maybe not.
Well, if I pick somebody who's famous now,
It's
back in
okay.
the '90s they were probably underage. So, like, I wouldn't want to invite someone.
All right, you're thinking too into it.
I am thinking too hard into this.
Very hard.
What I first be okay before we like what method of time travel are we using to accomplish this?
Any method.
Okay. So it's the. All right. In the '90s, I had a crush on Amanda Peet.
Who's that?
She's an actress who was
Yeah.
probably the role you might know her the most from was. Do you ever see The Whole Nine Yards?
No.
I can't think of
What
what
was
else.
she in
Oh,
the
she was
90s?
in. What the hell's the name of that movie? Midnight at something's. Midnight at McGillicuddy's. The fuck was that movie?
Right in Montgomery.
I don't remember. She wasn't in a bunch of movies.
Okay.
Like she was kind of a minor celebrity.
Okay.
But
Amanda Peet.
Yeah. That's
what was that show that?
In the 90s, I would have invited her to the Marine Corps. That's who I would have gotten rejected by in the 90s.
Who was that guy that Katie was talking about?
I'm getting way ahead of ourselves here. This is from our first night at camp. So give me a minute here to find where I want this to start. Okay, yeah. If you've got headphones on, you're going to want to listen to this. This is...
Oh, God.
That's inside my tent. The first night.
Beautiful sound.
Oh, boy, you have no idea.
You could just fall asleep to that, couldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, until there's a boom, like a friggin' eight-ball. There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.
I love thunderstorms.
Oh, God.
I actually just closed my eyes listening to that because I enjoy that sound so much.
Oh, God, no. Like, I had my eyes closed and I had earplugs in and I could see white. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
That's one of the things I'm most excited about being in my new place is experiencing a summer thunderstorm because I love the sound of the rain and the thunder and even the random flashes of lightning. It's one of my favorite things to fall asleep to.
It is nice.
Yeah, that was like literally just right on top of us too. Like we were hanging out by the fire.
Yeah. Oh, that is perfect.
We had just finished eating. We were hanging out, just kind of like.
It didn't sound too windy though.
Left to do, and then like
no,
within 2 minutes, it was just exploding.
Like the thunderstorm with the heavy rain and the lightning, but not too heavy on the rain, and lots of thunder, but not a ton of wind to knock your tent around.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go hiking.
Yeah. So, and we actually managed to stay dry the whole time. I mean, it only rained. Yeah. It was the perfect kind of rain. It only happened while we were in our tents.
Yeah, thank
God. That is perfect. That is a perfect thunderstorm. I mean, I'll take a thunderstorm anytime that I'm hiking, honestly, even if it means like getting wet and getting in my tent. But having it be just during that gap when you're in your tent, that is perfect timing. There's no harm in teaching kids how to pick a lock at a young age.
I know how to do that. I know how to pick locks. I got a lock picking set about 6 months ago.
I can't do that. If we meet up in whatever town, Wayne's something.
Yeah, Asheville. Pretty much Asheville.
Waynesville?
I'll bring my.
Bring that lock picking set and teach me how to pick a lock. I need to learn.
Well, basically what you do is, get a lock picking set and then just get those master lock things that have a little key for them and just start fooling around with it.
Perfect. I have a few of those and I've lost the key, so perfect.
Yeah, you can bring it. Yeah, I mean,
hey guys,
some take longer time than others, but yeah.
I got a couple more things I want to try to squeeze in here before.
Oh, sorry, Gary. Did you want this to go somewhere in particular?
Yeah, I actually did want to get back on topic, if that's okay.
Oh, sorry. Was our conversation off topic about interrupting the plan?
When are you gonna play the clip?
That's what I'm trying to work my way up to.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So.
The clip.
Yeah, there's a clip
you'll
already.
Like it.
I am intrigued.
Yeah, and we think that Daniel has his trail name now. But we're gonna,
oh no.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that when we play the clip. All right, so a couple of things here. Okay, this is actually kind of related to something you guys were talking about just a minute ago. I don't know if you can hear this. This is like when Daniel and I were just walking and I had the microphone going.
I don't even know what I'm going to say yet. I just wanted to. I figured we're having some good conversation here. We were just talking about how day hikers smell,
Oh yeah.
but like in a good way. But you can smell them like
From 2 miles
smell
away?
them almost a full minute before you see them.
Really? So
What?
Your sensors get better?
Kinda, yeah.
You can't smell yourself.
Well, yeah, you stop smelling yourself, which is, that's weird because you really smell.
Science.
Daniel's just a few steps ahead of me
But,
on the trail. here.
You smell like a human. You smell like a sweaty human.
Right.
And it's a natural smell. It's unpleasant if you're accustomed to smelling like deodorant and perfume all the time.
Right.
But it's also one of those things where once you make the transition, it's easy to stay on that side of the line.
Yeah.
Once you start smelling like a human again, yeah, you're unpleasant to the people who are around you, but you actually kind of learn to like it.
What about the people around you, like that are hiking? Can you smell them?
The other hikers, you definitely smell each other, and it's very animalistic.
I partially
I've
disagree with
compared
that point.
A bubble of thru hikers to a pack of animals.
What part do you disagree with?
The part where you can still smell other hikers, because I definitely, when I was gross and disgusting, I could smell some other hikers to an extent, but no way near the extent that a day hiker or my dad, who came out to slack pack me for a little bit, could smell everyone. So
Interesting.
I think we get desensitized to the hiker smell in general, but definitely 100% to our own smell.
And it really is true in so many different. What's that?
You smell their butts. Make sure that they're friendly.
Oh
Make
God.
sure you know who they are. You recognize. You feel that that's actually true.
Do you smell their butts?
And I don't mean like you walk up in the shelter and like put your nose in someone's butt and you're like, "Oh, Lemmy, good to see you again." But it's similar to that in that once you get to the shelter, you're a few steps away and you catch a whiff. You're like, "Oh, I recognize that smell. That's Fiddle and Jim."
But you can tell who people.
Is that true though?
What,
Megan?
you can tell what other people smell like?
Yeah.
I don't think I was around too many people to tell what each person smelled like. I mean, if there was an article of clothing hanging out on the line, I would be like, "Oh, yeah, I get that." I know who that is.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Here's one more that involves unpleasant smells.
Pretty hot today, I think, later on.
Another day in the 70s.
Probably.
Blah blah blah.
right,
Talking
so
about
we
the
have-
weather.
Another important learning opportunity.
Oh, here
on
we
the
go.
trail. Daniel's laughing because he sees what I've got here. I've got the
Always a learning opportunity.
Deuce of Spades, the ultimate poop shovel. So I've had my breakfast, I've had my coffee. I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Problem is,
Oh, hang on a second. I'm gonna put this in.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about pooping.
We are. I'm putting this in a different player that gives me better volume control.
Pretty hot today, I think, later on.
There we go.
I want to
another
hear
day
about
in the 70s.
Probably.
All right, so we have another important learning opportunity.
We
on the
already
trail.
heard this.
Daniel's laughing because he sees what I've got here. I've got the Deuce of Spades, the ultimate poop shovel. So I've had my breakfast, I've had my coffee. I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Problem is, there isn't a bathroom anywhere within miles, so we have to make one. All right, first thing you want to consider is where, right?
Uh-huh.
So we obviously don't want to go in camp.
Right.
We don't want to go too close to camp either, and we don't want to go near water. So we're gonna walk.
Ooh, a little bit of microphone noise there. I had the microphone on a tripod with us while we were hiking, and every time I picked it up, it made some
From the
bit of
campsite a
racket
little
there,
bit.
Sorry.
Find a proper location. I know where I'm going.
Going for a
So
walk.
it's going to take.
to find a poop
You
hole.
want to try to get. There's a number, and I think it's like 200 yards from camp, or 200 yards from water, or 100 yards, or something. But we're dealing with limited space here, so I'm just kind of walking
Oh, that sounds terrible. Sorry.
across the trail and through this little clearing over here, Just trying to get far away. What I'm looking for is a nice flat spot where it's going to be easy to dig a hole. And I'm nowhere near camp. No one's going to see me if they come walking by the trail. No one's going to accidentally stumble into my poop later. Oh, here's like a great spot. Practically a bathroom. All right, so yeah, so we're, you want to go someplace where no one's going to.
Hey, it's like real estate. It's location.
So you see we got all these.
I'll not even hold on to that one, Gary.
And stuff on the ground.
Yeah.
So I'll just kind of start by just clearing a little circle. Make sure there's flat ground beneath it where I can dig. And there is. That's good right there. That's all I'm looking for. And so this shovel's a little weird because it kind of hurts your hand to hold it like this.
We went through like every painstaking detail of digging and.
Yeah, I can tell.
So that my heel.
Oh, here we go. I'm gonna skip some of the. Okay, we dug a hole.
Okay, so I'm not gonna keep digging. I'm just, I'll finish digging after you step aside. After you leave, you're not gonna watch me do this. I'm not really gonna do this either. This is just for demonstration only. But see, okay, so I've got my hole. I'm gonna make it a little bigger in a minute. But what I like to do is I put my feet so that my heels are right there by the hole.
Okay.
Okay, this is how I get my aim. So my heels are on the hole.
Okay.
And then I just do this. Just squat all the way down.
Okay.
So you're not sitting on something, you're not in a sitting position.
Yeah.
You're just seated. And sometimes, I'll use my hands to help hold myself up. And you just do your business like this.
Okay.
And it looks funny, but I mean, this is actually okay. This is actually easier to poop squatting than sitting.
I can picture you doing this, Gary. Picture you squatting in the woods.
Good.
But there's a diagram they show
Oh
a
my
picture of
God.
the human body and like where the bowels are located.
Yeah.
And when you're seated, like on a chair, that 90-degree bend in your hips, actually, that's why people have to. Like,
Oh my God, you're such a good teacher. Even when you're
in the
teaching someone how to
squatting
shit.
your torso is still perfectly vertical. Your rectum is directly below your bowels.
Okay.
It's the way the human body is designed to shit.
Right.
It's the reason why they poop in holes in third world countries. Because that's how you're supposed to poop, I guess.
Oh my God.
It's true.
Oh, I'm crying.
What I'd like to know, Daniel. Now, I left Daniel to make a hole on his own, and I didn't stick around to see how things went. But
important question: that hole that you dug for demonstration purposes, did you actually poop in it?
I did. Yes.
Good. I'd like to know that the hole didn't go to waste.
Yeah, I sent Daniel away. I did my business. I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that when Daniel went to dig his own hole, he just redug my own. He dug up my. No, he didn't. Daniel, how was your pooping experience?
Yeah, that's exactly what
How'd that go for you?
Oh my God.
Daniel, how was your pooping experience in the woods? How'd that go for you?
My aim wasn't on point, but it was in the general direction.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. It's just we've
fine.
all been there. We've been there.
I really did not want to do that. I have to admit, I really didn't want to do it.
Why not?
Is it the pooping in the woods thing that bothers you, or is it? Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, I mean, the only time I've ever had to really poop in the woods, I don't know. It's kind of an emergency thing. So I don't know. In my head, pooping in the woods is like, oh shit, what have you done? You fucked up. Now you got to shit in the woods.
There's a negative connotation psychologically.
Yeah. Well, I remember one time I was on my route, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh crap, I can't do anything. And I had to run back into the woods, and
Oh no!
It wasn't the first
We've all
time I
had
crapped in
those
the woods.
moments.
Yeah,
You've got a little bit of a PTSD.
Yeah,
Pooping
trauma.
I only went once the whole time, which is crazy for me because usually during a normal day I'll go 3 or 4 times.
Do you guys notice that that's PTSD?
Yeah.
PPTSD.
Oh, come on. Oh, jeez. All right. Okay. I see how it's going to be.
Okay. So another thing we were talking about was I was thinking of stuff while Gary, was running away from me. I was thinking about what if they had like a company who sent like resupply boxes to post offices along the way of the trail. Because I asked Gary how many post offices are on the Appalachian Trail. He said, I don't know, hundreds. I said, well, maybe they should have like a company that like sends restore boxes to all these post offices. That way, when you come into a town, you just go, you like subscribe to it. You pay however, like you pay, like I'm going to do the trail from April to, September. So here's $500 and my shit's going to be at all these post offices. I just go in and like, as you're getting in there, you could like choose what you want and stuff like that. And they'd have it there. And then Gary was talking about how they have like a loot crate kind of thing, but it's just stuff to try out. But I feel like, doesn't that seem like a cool idea?
That's a really cool idea. You heard it here, folks. First, I can't talk. My words are getting all jumbled. You heard it here first, folks. We're going to patent this. You can't take our idea. It's ours.
I think that's how patenting something works too. Like all you have to do is say, I patent this, I patent this, I patent this 3 times. And it's like, it's like summoning Beetlejuice or Candyman.
Do you have to spin around in a circle while you're saying it too, so that it?
You have to say it into a mirror.
Isn't that how Albert Einstein patented all his stuff?
You have to say it into a mirror with all the lights off, and after you say it 3 times, the ghost of Thomas Edison appears.
Thomas Edison, that was it.
Dibsies. What if we just say dibs?
Okay.
Dibsies.
Done deal.
All right. So this is the thing that Daniel has brought up a couple of times during our conversation tonight, and it came up while we were hiking, and I know we covered this on the trail, so I know, that like Daniel's not really, his feelings aren't hurt, and he's not upset by this, but like when we first started, and Megan, you understand this because you've been on the trail for years, and you know that when two people hike together, you don't necessarily hike at the same speed. If you find somebody who hikes at the same speed as you, that's just like a miracle or a coincidence, and it very rarely somebody either has to speed up or slow down so that you can stay together. So when you know that you're going to be, and that's fine if you're going out for like a day hike or a couple hours, but when you're going out for a couple of days, the generally accepted etiquette, and this is something strange to new hikers, the generally accepted etiquette is like, let's just hike your own hike. You just go however fast you need to go, and when we get where we're going, I'll be there and I'll see you there. Right?
Yeah.
Now if you're going to be together for like months,
adjust your pace.
Adjusting your pace means like, okay, I might see you tomorrow, I might see you this weekend, I may never see you again. But when you're going out for a couple of days and you got to stick together, but the unspoken rule is, whoever gets ahead will just stop after, like a half an hour or so. And, or
you don't force the person whose pace is a little bit slower to try to like, catch up, buddy.
Yeah. And, when we first started, there was a little bit of that, and I told Daniel before I hiked away from him the first time, I was like, hey, dude, just so you know, this is not me being, a jerk or anything. Like, I got ridiculously long legs and I need to use them. But, I'll see you in 15
I can totally
minutes.
get how someone maybe for hiking for the first time might be like, someone's hiking away from me. This is not nice. This is supposed to be a together thing. But you're right. It is an unspoken rule that when you're hiking together and one person is just faster than the other, you don't necessarily have to slow your pace to be together all the time. You do exactly that. You stop and you wait and one person catches up, you kind of leapfrog maybe a little bit here and there.
Yep. And we spent a lot. Go ahead, Daniel.
I have to admit, first 3 or 4 times I was racking my brain. What did I say? Do I sound like I'm not interested? Do I need to sound more interested?
Yeah, well, it's
like I was really like, because
I get it. It makes you feel a little self-conscious because you feel like someone's trying to get away from you.
Well, another thing is like I text Gary a lot of stuff and he doesn't respond to everything, and I guess he sees it and like he never responds. I'm like, I guess he saw it. So I don't know. It's kind of like that in real life.
Yeah, but
like,
that's a special case though, because texting is one of those things that like I almost never reply to anybody's text messages because
that's a true statement.
Yeah, just
did you see my text?
I see it, and then like, what am I supposed to do?
Okay.
Reply back? Okay. I mean, I know you saw the little thing that said delivered.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny, the stuff I was sending you.
I'll reply back.
Ha ha. Kick out of it.
Or
you thought you might at least get an LOL or a ha ha.
That's all I need is an LOL.
Okay.
Like,
in an effort to appear, in an effort to blend in with the humans, I'll start using emojis more often. I hear that's a thing you do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, the emoticons and emojis are all of the rage with the kids these days.
Bleep, blorp, which button
says
means
the youngest
laughter.
one on this call.
I am not programmed to love.
What is that from?
So here's kind of where we.
Okay.
I mean, but Dan, you're okay with that whole thing now, though, right? Like if I hiked away from you, you would know it's not. It's not because
kind of.
You smell.
I know.
You do,
kind
but that's not why.
I don't know. Like I just like being around you and Katie so much that it's like I don't know.
Aww.
I get in my head.
Nice.
Oh.
I know. Yeah.
So here's a moment that we shared on the trail that actually kind of relates to that. Let's see.
All right, hiking up to, I don't know, let's call it Thunder Hole.
Okay, we need to. All right, I'm going to go back. We need to explain Thunder Hole.
Thunder Hole?
Yeah, let me explain Thunder Hole real quick.
Yeah, I forget what this was.
Which number is that? Okay, here's Thunder Hole. Sorry, I went out of order. Around.
Would you be wrong?
Your passion for hiking, happy like that.
Oh,
so we're getting close to the. Oh, we're coming around. Okay, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, look at that.
If you ever come to my house again, I'll show you like Yellow River where there's a little waterfall area.
That's the Chattooga River you hear in the background.
Oh, cool. So what falls are those?
I don't think they have a name. That's just, a lot of the Chattooga is like that.
Green Giant Falls.
Green Giant Falls? This is where Green Giant falls?
You should just put a sign right there, Green Giant Falls. And then, who's going to stop you?
All right, so maybe that's not Thunder Hole, but anyway, it was a place on the river where the rapids made a lot of noise. Not really a great story.
All right, hiking up to, I don't know, let's call it Thunder Hole. Actually, Thunder Hole is what you get after eating Chili Mac Mountain House.
I should have just left it at that.
That is
the Chipotle of the woods.
What's going on?
Okay, let's get closer.
I'll have to edit some of this out. Okay, here we go.
Wait for Daniel.
See, I said I was going to wait for Daniel.
All right, I don't see Daniel, so I'm going to keep hiking.
Nope. I waited.
I was going to tell him something,
2
but it can
seconds.
wait. Not like I'm ditching my friend or anything. Daniel and I have actually been hiking apart quite a bit over the last 2 days, and that's just a natural part of hiking in a group. I explained to him. We hike at different speeds, and of course he's a little slower because he's new. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But what I explained to him was that I have a very long stride, and in order for me to hike slow, I have to take smaller steps, which makes my hips hurt. Probably because I'm old too, but that's part of it. Going through some mud here. Hang on a second. All right. Whoa. So what I'm going through here is a tree that was on the left edge of the trail has toppled, taking most of its root ball with it. And since it was since it was dug into the trail there pretty good, took a good chunk of the trail with it. So there's a big muddy dip there where the tree used to be. Anyway, whew. I was explaining to Daniel that people just hike at different speeds, and even when Katie and I hike together, maybe we'll go like an hour without seeing each other, and it's just part of the experience. Hiking is both social and solitary. Solitaire is a game. Hiking is both social and solitary, and a big important part of it, at least to me, to many other people, is that time that you spend on the trail by yourself.
The British!
Oh shit!
The British are coming!
Jesus Christ! Sometimes that happens when you hike with someone else. This was Daniel, by the way. He's hauling ass.
Don't tell me you ran into Keith out there.
Anyway.
Oh God!
Oh my goodness gracious!
Oh, that was one of my favorite moments of the weekend. It just comes out of nowhere. Just the British are coming. The British are coming.
So I just got a hair up my butt to just start running at full speed
Yeah, it happens occasionally.
for no reason at all.
Isn't it an interesting feeling?
Yeah.
With a pack on
like,
you, and then all of a sudden it's like it's bouncing up and down, but you're like, this feels so good and so right at the same time, and it's yeah.
I had no idea that he
was.
was behind me either. He just comes out of nowhere, just yelling.
It's the music too. Music, certain music gets me going really hard.
Oh yeah, I listened to music when I was hiking the AT, and I still listen to music when I hike occasionally. Sometimes I just want to clear my head and not have any music, but yeah, music can really help you like get in a groove and get motivated on a day that you might not be so motivated. Like,
do you dance?
While hiking? Sometimes.
I do that too. I like use my trekking poles as like a baton and stuff.
Like I'm constantly moving my trekking poles. Like I'm not necessarily like bumping and grinding a lot, but like there's a lot of like air punching with the trekking poles.
Yeah.
It's not at all how I would dance like in the real world but when you're wearing 40 pounds on your back and you're hiking up or down a mountain and you've got trekking poles attached to your arms, I mean, there's really only so much you can do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that.
Is a game.
It was fun.
Hiking is both social and solitary, and a big important part of it, at least to me, to many other people, is that time that you spend on the trail by yourself.
The British!
Oh shit!
The British are coming!
Jesus Christ!
Oh my God, that cracks me up.
So I played that clip for Katie, and it's funny because I had something in mind when I played it for her, and she said exactly what I was thinking. She said, "I think Daniel has a trail name now."
Oh shoot, you're cutting out, Jerry.
And I think it's Paul Revere.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. Of course, we have to see if it sticks.
I like it.
That's my trail name, Paul Revere.
I think so, man.
I like it.
I think that might.
I think that when I see you hiking, I want to yell, "The British are coming!" like at the top of my lungs. That's the gut feeling I get.
I was just thinking of something funny to say because I saw him as I was running. I was like, "Oh, let's be goofy."
I was gonna say we could name the episode. We could name this episode "The British Are Coming," but people might think that Keith Foskett was back.
Right. Exactly.
So maybe that's not it.
But I like that one. I feel like seeing Paul Revere in the logs and then yelling "The British are coming" whenever Daniel appears on the trail is that's gonna stick.
What if
by land?
One if by land, two if by sea.
So instead, I'm gonna have to get rid of my Columbia hat and wear a tri-corner hat when I hike.
Oh my God!
You don't have to, but if you want to, that will help the name stick and
exactly
kind of tie it all together. And I would love that.
That would be so cool.
That would be really cool.
And I think if anybody can pull off that look, I think Daniel's the guy to do it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, for sure. I could see you being like a Revolutionary War reenactor or something that involves a costume and a fun mustache and a tri-corner hat. Fuck yeah.
Who do I know that has a fun mustache? Huh? Who?
Well,
Huh.
I got rid of it, right? Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that's
You got
true.
what?
I got rid of it.
He shaved it off.
Oh, well, you know what? At least you have the capability to grow in and get one back, which is
get it
more
back,
than
but
I
then-
can say for some of the other people on this call. And by that, I mean 2/3 of people on this call. Sorry.
Have
Gary.
y'all ever been to Williamsburg,
Massachusetts?
No.
No,
Virginia?
I have not. I've been to Williams something Mass,
do you-
but
Do you know what's in Williamsburg, Virginia?
I feel like I should.
Is it like colonial reenactments? Yeah.
Oh, Colonial Williamsburg.
It's like the whole thing.
Oh, you know what? I might have been there, but I probably blocked it out. Probably because it happened as a kid. You know.
Yeah, that's all they do over there too. We've been there a couple of times.
Actually, speaking of reenactments, Gary, you and I ran into was it Hot Springs where there was a reenactment while we were hiking?
Yeah, they were doing Civil War reenactments in Hot Springs.
That's what it was. That was the first time I met Mark. And
that's right. And Travis too, I think.
And Travis and Sue.
Was there. Yeah, that's right.
And there was a whole reenactment that I don't know if it was like a week or a weekend. I don't know if we maybe hit it just right on the day, but that was the first time I've ever been that close to a true Civil War or any type of reenactment that people were like really into.
That was pretty awesome.
It was interesting. It was interesting. Also, the first time I fell while hiking. By the way, I made it all the way to Hot Springs without falling.
Congratulations. That's a pretty good.
Thanks, but unfortunately, my first fall did happen when I was walking on flat pavement without trekking poles for the first time.
That's right. I remember. I forgot.
Remember
about
that?
that?
Yeah. And
you were sober too.
I had a scab on my knee for like the longest time, for like a month. I want to say.
Hey, Daniel.
Went through my leggings. Yeah.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah.
Before we wrap things up here, because I'm as always I'm like an hour late for dinner, but
that's why you should eat at the beginning of the call like the rest of us.
Well, Daniel hates the sound of people chewing, so as out of respect for him, I'm fasting. I'm going along on Ramadan with Daniel. I'm fasting.
That was really nice of you.
Okay, so before we wrap things up, any final thoughts on that trip, our trip, backpacking in general, how you feel about the great outdoors, pooping in the woods, just in general. What do you want to say?
I mean, I liked it. I'd like to get some more miles under my belt. I'd like to see more. I'd like to do it again. Definitely do it again. I mean, I bought a bag, so I'm ready to go out and do it again.
Cool.
That's
psyched.
Great.
Yeah.
What was your favorite
really
part?
Exciting.
What was my favorite part?
Yeah.
Probably the second day next to that river was just like all day was just gorgeous views the whole time. It was just, I don't know, euphoric.
It was so
the
nice.
first day was, fine, but it wasn't as,
Yeah, the first day. Yeah, day one was a lot of just walking through the woods, which is nice, but it was, I'm kind of surprised for as low elevation we were, as far south as we were in middle of March, nothing was blooming. There were almost no flowers. Everything was still brown. Is
middle of March the time when things start blooming down there?
Things are, like we had our daffodils were up at home. And I drove, 100 miles south and nothing was blooming. So I guess, it's just weird little microclimates or something. But anyway, day one was mostly just walking in the woods, which is, I'm happy to do that. But, the real big wow stuff is down by the Chattooga River, which we hit on the second day. And there were just so many perfect little sitting spots. And we took so many breaks and, we ate bread and cheese by the river and had a little picnic, and it was kind of romantic.
That really nice.
It was kind of. I was hoping Daniel would propose, but he didn't.
Anyway, the whole time we were like, "Oh, look at that spot! Oh, that's a great camping spot! Oh my God, look at that spot!" For the first 3 miles. For the first 3 miles we were doing that day, that's all we could talk about.
You find your idea of what a break or a sitting spot looks like changes so much. So instead of seeing like a chair and that being a sitting spot, you find all of these rocks and logs, and you're like, oh, that's a perfect spot. No, that's a perfect spot. You can just have a little picnic wherever in the woods. It's one of the beauties of hiking.
I think the only thing that I want to do the next time is maybe have my own stuff. I think that would feel a lot better. I mean, I don't really like borrowing stuff.
Yeah.
So
and
next
that,
time I'd like
that
to have
pack
my own stuff by that time.
And that pack that you were using was kind of old too. And yeah. Nice. Cool, man. I'm super stoked that we got to do this. I really just enjoyed spending time, like hanging out with Daniel in the woods and just getting to know Daniel.
Yeah.
And just
Gary, I think you got him hooked.
Just being pals and stuff. We were like Calvin and Hobbes.
What, I'm the tiger, you're the boy?
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
I don't know. You're the hyper
or Beavis
one.
and Butthead.
I'll be
Beavis and Butthead. I'm going with that one.
I'll be your
she knows that
friend.
reference.
I mean, I never watched the show. I just know of it.
Well, that's all you need to know.
That's all I need to know. Oh, geez. You guys are making me want to go hiking.
I know. I'd love to hike with you sometime.
I'd love
like
it
the
if
three of us.
we wouldn't have snow on the ground. That would be cool. But yeah, I would love to be down there and go hiking with all of you guys. Everyone together.
Yeah, we could plan something.
Maybe we'll all get to hang out at Trail Days in a couple of weeks.
Trail
Wouldn't that
days.
be
Yeah,
something?
that's right. And it'll be my first trail days, and it's going to be crazy, and who knows what's going to happen.
If I did that, I'd probably have to come up by myself, though.
Oh, Travis
Because
is thinking
Deidre
about
doesn't
coming
have
too.
it.
Oh, Travis is going to
really?
come?
I talked to him today. He was looking into it. So that means there's a 50% chance that he'll forget to look into it.
Oh. How do we make that 55?
I don't know. Remind him frequently and publicly. Like, for example, on this show.
Publicly, no, we can do that. We can post on Facebook. I mean, social media is a tool to be used.
Yeah, this episode is brought to you by people who want Travis to go to Trail Days.
Brought to you by conning people we know into hanging out with us.
Because otherwise they
away.
wouldn't. No.
Oh, that's all right. We're okay with being alone.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I am. I love it.
All right,
It works.
I gotta go. Daniel, thanks again a million for doing this.
Thank you, Daniel.
Daniel,
Sorry,
You're
Gary,
Okay,
for keeping
last
you
question.
so long.
Last question, Daniel. Do you want to go back and do more of the Foothills Trail?
Yes.
That's all I needed to hear.
I love
Cool.
that answer.
Cool. All right,
Okay.
we will, and we will.
It worked.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot.
Yay.
Yay!
Everyone
All
have
right,
a great
yep.
night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
So this is the spur trail to King Creek Falls.
Okay.
0.2 miles, according to my notes from last time I was here, 0.2 miles off the Foothills Trail. What do I remember about this? I was actually just looking at my pictures of this falls from last time I was here, and that's what made me remember this is the one I want to see. We're about a half a mile away from the car after this, so we're nearing the end of our trip. This is King Creek to our left. It's kind of fun to look at this little body of water here that, I mean, you could walk right across that.
Yeah.
Maybe get your ankles wet.
Maybe. It's cold.
Daniel must be excited by the waterfall because he's pulling ahead of me. No, go for it, man. Hike as fast as you want. I can tell you're excited. Holy shit, look at that thing. It's like, what do you think, a 7-story building?
Yeah, definitely.
7 or 8 stories tall. A couple hundred feet easily.
You think it's taller than Tallulah? Or Amicalola?
No. King Creek Falls is a fun side trail because you can see the falls from almost the whole way you're walking toward it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like Hidden Falls where it just kind of pops out at the last minute.
Yeah.
Look at that thing, man. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Oh, wait, no, it's because we're getting closer. Whoa. It's a pretty tight gorge.
Yeah.
Not very tall, but it's pretty steep on both sides. Whoa, nice save. Got some mud here. It's not even the falls we hear. We're still a few steps away. Wow, look at that! Holy shit! I was looking at my pictures from last time and it just doesn't do this thing justice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Feels good.
Yeah, it is definitely about 5 degrees cooler back here.
At least.
Look at all the moss growing underneath that, the bottom part there.
Yeah.
Almost decided I was gonna stop fishing after those first few tries, and nothing. After I lost that lure. Glad you hung in there. Me too.
Stick with it.
Me too. I'm gonna bring some different spices next time.
I don't know. Salt, pepper, and lemon is hard to beat.
Yeah, it's simple, isn't it?
You don't need to. No.
You don't need to pretty it up.
No. Oh, where did I leave my phone? That would be really sad, wouldn't it?
I really like this section.
That is a really pretty river.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Kurt, I'm gone.
All right.
All right, what was I gonna do?
It was a pleasure.
We're gonna use the other hand.
Something I already forget.
Pleasure meeting you, sir. I did some hand sanitize. So. Oh yeah, we'll do it. All right. Kind of hanging around. Yeah, y'all want to come join us? I'm like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Hey, you sanitize?
Let's do a sweaty man hug here.
Sweaty man. Thanks so much for letting me borrow all your friends.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
So we need to hang out more.
The Jewish mother filing was okay.
Yeah, she's good.
Oh man, I can't. Oh, you guys. Oh, we have our own inside jokes too.
Oh, good.
We did practice leave no trace.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a corner
Did you pick up some
picker-upper.
corners?
He
I
picks
got.
up
I got a few.
sunglass lens, and we decided. Oh, he even picked up like 30 discarded underpants short things.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye, Crunchy.
Crunchy.
Bye. Take care.
So I probably need to get
Yep.
All right. Are you gonna follow? Are you following us for part of the way? Or?
I don't know how you guys are going.
I don't know either.
I'm gonna go up
Do your own
107
thing.
and then out 64.
Yeah, just motor.
It's funny. I was like, "Why are you putting your pack in our car?"
What the
and
heck,
I remembered that.
man?
Yeah. Good to see you, Mark.
Fun as always, Mark.
Daniel, nice socks.
Thank you.
Which way are you going? You're going the opposite way, right? You're coming like you're going south.
There was, so yeah.
Disregard the.
All right, I want to put on some hand sanitizer. I should have a bag in here with some clothes in it. I need to put on a clean shirt and
Let it soak in.
all that kind of stuff.
Uh oh, Travis caught a fish.
I got one.
Trail is a production of thetrek.co. Zach Davis, editor-in-chief. Your hosts are me, Gary Sizer, aka Green Giant, and Megan Thompson, aka Voldemort. Our music is by Lee Roosevere. This episode was recorded partly on location here at the Foothills Trail. Mixed and edited by myself, Gary Sizer, back at Blanket Fort Studios, which is just me in my basement with a blanket over my head. Thanks for listening.